Let me tell you a story about resilience, about incredible timing, and about seeing what absolutely everyone else misses. This is the story of Eva Wei, an entrepreneur whose simple craving for a drink from home led her from a pretty crushing failure all the way to building an unexpected empire. So here's a question for you. What if you have this amazing, game-changing idea, but you're just 8 years too early? It's a thought that could honestly haunt any founder. But for Eva Wei, this wasn't some hypothetical. It was her life. Her story really makes you wonder, is a great idea ever enough? Or is timing, well, is timing everything? Okay, so let's rewind the clock. We're in Helsinki, Finland back in 2012. Eva Wei is 21 years old, she's just moved from Taiwan, and as she's exploring her new home, she notices something is seriously missing. For Eva, this wasn't just, a minor inconvenience. This was a huge opportunity staring her right in the face. She came from a place where bubble tea was everywhere, a total staple. And now, looking around at this sea of nearly identical coffee shops, she saw a massive untapped market. She missed a taste of home, sure, but her entrepreneurial instincts just kicked into high gear. She figured, hey, if no one else is going to bring bubble tea to Finland, I guess I will. So with all the passion and, frankly, the fearlessness that only a 21-year-old can have, she jumped in. She launched her very first venture, ready to show Finland the absolute joy of bubble tea. There was just one tiny problem. The market wasn't ready to listen. At all. Yeah, that dream ran smack into a brick wall of reality. She opens the first ever bubble tea shop in the entire country in 2012. But for 3 long years, she just struggled. She couldn't find enough customers to keep the lights on. And in 2015, she had to close it all down. The timing, as it turns out, was just completely and totally wrong. So you gotta ask, why did it feel so hard? Well, it was kind of the perfect storm of challenges. First off, Eva had 0 business experience. None. She also didn't have a network of mentors she could call for advice. Back then, there just wasn't a lot of information online to guide her. But the biggest issue, the real killer, was that the local Finnish customers, they were just not interested. To them, this chewy, sweet, milky tea was just some weird niche thing they didn't get and frankly didn't want. But, and this is the key, this is where the story takes a turn. Instead of seeing this shutdown as the end of the road, Eva completely reframed it. This wasn't just a failure, it was a 3-year real-world MBA. You couldn't pay for this kind of education. Every single mistake, every customer who walked away confused, all of that became crucial data for whatever she was going to do next. All right, now let's hit the fast-forward button. We're jumping 8 years into the future, to 2020. The world is a different place. Trends are flying across borders thanks to social media, and Finland has changed too. And Eva, now armed with all that priceless experience, decides it's time for a comeback. And wow, what a difference 8 years can make. The totally uninterested market of 2012 was now ready and eager. And this wasn't just some random fluke. Global food trends, pushed along by Instagram and TikTok, had finally hit the Nordics. A whole new generation of Finns was way more connected to the world and curious about new things. What was once a weird niche product was now a viral sensation. The empty storefront was replaced by long queues of excited customers. Finally, her vision and the market's timing were perfectly in sync. So what does that perfect alignment look like in the real world? It looks like explosive growth. In just 1 year, a single year after relaunching her brand, Eva opened 7 different stores across Finland's biggest cities. The demand that was basically 0 8 years before was now completely off the charts. So how'd she get it so right the second time around? Well, she used every lesson she learned from her failure. She focused on the classic can't-miss flavors like brown sugar pearl milk tea. She leaned into the exotic feel of iced teas, which it turns out Finns actually love, even when it's freezing outside. And this is crucial. She only opened up in spots with tons of foot traffic. She understood that bubble tea being new and kind of scarce in Finland was now a major selling point, not a weakness. But Eva Wei's story doesn't just stop with a super successful bubble tea chain. Oh no. For a real entrepreneur, winning in one market is just the warm-up. She was already looking at the horizon, scanning for the next thing, the next gap that Finland was missing. It's that classic innovator's question, right? Do you play it safe and just protect what you've built? Or do you risk it all over again on a brand new idea? For Eva, the answer was a no-brainer. you go find the next untapped opportunity. And that opportunity was matcha. By 2023, she noticed matcha bars were popping up all over Europe, but once again, not in Finland. She saw it as the perfect product for a culture that already loves coffee. It's a healthier, less intense caffeine alternative. And she didn't just guess. She actually traveled to Japan to study how it's made, making sure she was a total expert before she even thought about launching. But look, this wasn't just about adding one more product. This was about building an entire ecosystem. It's brilliant, really. She didn't just sell drinks. She started importing her own matcha, controlling the supply chain. She didn't just serve customers. She found other market gaps, like a need for Asian-style beauty salons. She even invested in the tech that runs her stores, co-founding a company that makes point-of-sale systems. Every single move supports all the others, creating this powerful, interconnected empire. So what's the one thing that ties all of these different businesses together? Well, it all comes down to a really simple but incredibly powerful philosophy that has guided every single decision she's ever made. This right here is her core mantra. 做别人没在做的东西. It simply means, do what others aren't doing. Think about it. From bubble tea in 2012, when no one wanted it, to matcha in 2023, before anyone else was selling it, her entire career has been about spotting a void in the market and having the guts to be the very first person to step in and fill it. And her advice for anyone else who wants to be an entrepreneur? It's this. 人生只有一次. 如果你想做的话，就去做. It translates to, you only live once. If you want to do something, just do it. I mean, it's such a direct, no-nonsense call to action, and it perfectly captures the spirit that took her from one failed shop to a multi-industry, multinational business empire. And that really brings us to the final question, the one Eva's story kind of leaves us with. It's so easy to think that all the good ideas are already taken. But her journey proves that opportunities are literally everywhere, and they're often disguised as a simple annoyance or something you just wish existed. So what's that thing for you? What's the thing you wish you had in your town, in your job, or in your daily life? That right there might just be your bubble tea moment, waiting for you to grab it.